Now, 20 years ago today, a new currency, the euro, was created. It was initially used in accounting and banking transactions until becoming a physical reality 3 years later. So has it achieved its aims of making trade within the EU easier? And what issues does it still face? Well, we're joined now from London by the economist Duncan Weldon. Well, good morning to you, Mr. Weldon. So what's your verdict? Has the euro been a success or a failure?
Good morning to you and Happy New Year. I think on one level, the euro has definitely been a success. When we think back, it's extraordinary. We've got no real example in the modern world of that many countries coming together, choosing to share their currency, choosing to pool that level of sovereignty. So the very fact it survived 20 years is on one level exceptional. But I think if we look back over the last 20 years, the history of the euro is almost a story in 3 acts. So that first decade of the euro was relatively calm. We saw exactly what we'd expect to see. We saw a convergence of living standards between the poorer bits of particularly southern Europe and the richer bits of the northern bits of the euro area. We saw very rapid growth in the south. Everything seemed to be working. The second act, though, was of course the one many people, particularly outside the eurozone, will think of when they hear the word euro. The problems that began in 2009-10, that hit Greece, that hit Italy, Portugal, Ireland, Spain. And obviously the eurozone had a very, very tough 5 or 6 years. We saw that problem of we had the same monetary policy, but that the appropriate interest rates for Germany were not necessarily the appropriate interest rates for Spain or Greece. And when the crisis hit, the European Central Bank originally could not do enough to stabilise the southern European economies. We now, though, appear to be in the third act of the euro, particularly since Mario Draghi took over as president of the ECB. I think he's gained a lot of respect, been a very successful president. He stabilised the euro. He made it clear that no country was leaving with his whatever it takes speech when the European Central Bank pledged to intervene in the markets. And since 2015, there has been a real recovery in European growth. Growth for the last couple of years in particular has been decent.
So what's the fourth act then? Is the euro out of the danger zone in that respect?
I think in the short term, the euro is definitely out of the danger zone. There have been 3 periods of danger. There was the height of the euro crisis in 2012. There was the standoff with Greece in 2015. Now this year, the events in Italy, the election of that Lega 5-star government, people, bringing back memories of the clash with the Greek government in 2015. But although there's been some fighting over the size of the Italian budget deficit, it looks like a compromise has been struck, and the euro has survived. And of course, the important thing to remember is, even in countries which have had really tough economic times, Greece, Italy, etc., public support for the euro remains very strong.